I'm going to be your professor for this first Summer 1 session. I'm really excited to have you register for my class, and I'm looking forward to beginning this class at the beginning of next week. You are in a hybrid course, which means that you will be meeting with me twice a week for labs, and you will be performing tasks at home to work with your lecture component. So as soon as Monday opens, we will be starting work immediately. So check your syllabus to see what you need. Now, when you come into lab, it's important that you have your lab manual with you. So we are going to get started the very first day of class because it is such a short semester. We're going to get started immediately on task. So make sure the very first day you come into class that you have your lab manual. You'll also be required for getting the lecture book for this course. It's important that you get the code for the online material. Your book will be used, or the book publisher will be used for the homework component for your class. And there'll be a couple different things that you'll need to be able to do weekly or daily for your lecture component. So it is important that you purchase that. Now, you don't have to get a physical book if you don't like. I know some people like them. I personally like them. I can highlight, I can make notes and all of those things. But sometimes the physical books can be kind of expensive. So what we have is we actually do where you can get everything online. So you can just buy one particular component online, and that's going to incorporate both the homework and an online book. You can just print those sections out as you need, and you can read online if you like. If not, you can buy in the bookstore or even online. They have where you can get the book that you actually put in a 3-ring binder. That tends to be much cheaper than the hardback books. Or you can buy hardback books. I always did that going up through college because I knew I was going to be a science major, so I always wanted to keep those books for later, but it's something that you don't have to do. You can sometimes, students like to find a used copy of the hardback book and then buy the online code. That's a little bit cheaper too. So those are kind of your options. But anyway, I am very much looking forward to seeing you next week. You can watch this. You can start going through your syllabus. To me, the syllabus is the most important part of the entire class. It's a contract between me and you. It's basically telling you how the class is going to run, the assignments that you're getting, how I'm going to calculate your final grade, because I'm really big on I don't give you a grade. I only assign your grades based on what you perform on the individual assessments I give you. So it's really important to kind of get an idea of what you're getting into at the beginning of the semester, so that if you work a lot, you know that you're going to have to come every single day for lab. There's nothing I can do about that. And after you miss a couple of them, I'm going to drop you. I'm going to email you, but it's impossible to miss all the labs and do well because almost 35% of your grade comes from your lab work and your lab practicals. So it's imperative that you come and you participate and you learn, because science is really about not just the theoretical stuff that you learn in books, but actually applying them through hands-on techniques, which is the reason why I loved science myself, is because I love the lab part of it, because I loved doing things. So, and then you're going to be able to meet other people in your class. So it's going to be more fun if you come to that. So realize that you're going to have to do that, and realize you're going to be spending anywhere from 2 to 5 or 6 hours a day doing work, because it's normally a 16-week course, and in here you're doing it in 6 weeks, right? And so you're basically, in a normal 16-week course, you would be, if you were doing a face-to-face lecture, meeting me 3 hours a week, right? If you're talking about doing half of that, that's an 8-week course. So in that, you would be meeting me 12 hours a week, right? If you're doing 8 week, but this is 6 weeks. So basically, you would be meeting me about 4 or 5 hours a day, 4 days a week. And that's just the lecture part, right? Sitting there listening to me, learning the material, doing the labs. That's not any of the studying component of it. Or the fact if you take my face to face class, you do have homework. So it's not incorporating any of that. So be prepared that you are going to be spending a lot of time doing this class. But the great thing is that though it will feel hellacious for 6 weeks, it's only 6 weeks, right? And then you get an entire science class done quickly. And you'll want to, if you are a science major, you'll want to really take this time to understand those key concepts, because in every class after this, you're just building on these key concepts I'm going to teach you, right? So if you decide to take, for instance, I teach a lot of anatomy and physiology courses. All of physiology in the body is based on the fundamentals that we're going to learn in this class today, which is why I think this class is so important, and one of the reasons why I love this class. Because if you go further, like I said, you go in anatomy and physiology, you'll learn how the body works. And we'll talk a little bit about what happens when it doesn't work right. But that all comes down to what you're learning here today. And then if you go into pathophysiology, you'll take what you learned in anatomy and then what goes wrong. But in order to understand what goes wrong, you have to understand key concepts that we're learning in this class. So just keep that in mind. It's one of those, I love science because it's not one of those topics that you can always learn something and just throw it away. I mean, this is a semester that you're going to be learning key topics. So enjoy it, work really hard, and I'm looking forward to meeting everybody next week. Bye, guys.